And what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and welcome to the Juice is Loose episode 15. Got a couple special guests here, so we're going to kind of broaden the topics, maybe do some movie discussions. You guys will understand when we do the introductions here. We got first time on the Juice is Loose, we got Mizza Tee. What's up, man?
Hey there, fools. Glad to be aboard.
Glad to have you, man. We tried to hook up a couple different times, didn't happen, so glad to have you. And we also have Jay Flemming, another movie buff. That's why we're going to maybe talk about some movies towards the end. What's going on, Jay?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
And then we have one of my usual, the birthday boy, Mr. ASAP Rel, celebrated a birthday on Saturday. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
I pointed out off air, Rel's got a sweet T-shirt on today, and we were just talking about Ninja Turtles. So anyway, as usual, we'll go over the Mario Kart 8 tournament from Wednesday, the 17th of September, and we're just going to do a little recap. Me and Rel were the only ones here that raced in the tournament. We'll just each give a story, something memorable from the tournament, and then we're going to move on to some TGS talk and Hyrule Warriors, and then maybe get into some stuff about related to movies. So I'm going to go down the list, the top 20 for the tournament results, and then we'll go from there. So first place we had Owen, and had some reports of fire hopping. I didn't race against Owen, but 3 different people said that Owen, you were fire hopping if you're watching this throughout the race. So I just want to reiterate again, I can't stop people from doing it. But I would appreciate it if you didn't fire hop in this tournament. Let's just have fun, and there's no reason to use that exploit to try to get first place because there's no prize on the line. So just race normal. I would appreciate to not have to hear about fire hopping and stuff. So second place we had Jason. Third was Dre. Then fourth Wheels Pig. Great job. He has a drawing. Or he draws every time when there's a winner. He does a really cool drawing on the Miiverse. Really appreciate that. It's almost like winning a trophy when you win and you see his drawing. He did mine, and he did that. The kid with the mullet from Terminator 2, who was John Connor's friend, and that's the picture he drew for me, which was pretty funny on Saturday. So Wheels Pig with fourth, and we had Harden 25. Twilight, he was kicking our ass in my group. He got 6. ASAP Rel got 7th, and we had Mike, Kerr, Andrew, Steel Fox, Starman, Dark Fox, and then T-Juice way down tied for 13th. That's probably the worst I've done. And Steel Fox, actually, he's never finished ahead of me, so props to him if you're watching this. And then we had Red Knight, who I actually beat for once in the tournament. Fat Stacks, A-Cove, Jeff, Robert, and Slade rounding out the 20th position. We played Frantic Mode, and it was definitely frustrating for me. I know, Rel, you did a little bit better, had a little bit more fun. So just real quick, how did you feel about Frantic Mode and how the tournament went this week?
But the frantic mode, it was cool, man. I mean, hey, couldn't hate on it too much. You know what I mean? It's Mario Kart. I seen Red Knight had posted something on Miiverse like, playing on frantic mode makes me not want to put this game back in ever again or something like that. But I mean, for me, the game was it is what it is, man. It's what you expected. You're gonna get slapped around, you're gonna get cheated, and it's just good fun for me.
Yeah, that's a good outlook. You did 7th, so you weren't getting quite as probably hit as some of us at the bottom. But I got a story that it stuck with me, and I've been wanting to talk about it. I was on Peach's Roadway or whatever it's called, the N64 track, and on the final little S-curves before the final left turn, I got a golden mushroom, and I was in like 7th or 8th, and I seen 3 people in front of me, and I thought I was just going to take the corner, cut through the grass, and just destroy them and get like 4th or 5th. Well, then as soon as I went to bump a guy, he had a star, he used it, so I spun out, and then the guy behind me had a star, he hit me into the grass, and then as I'm going to boost through the grass to try to make up some ground, a lightning hits, strands me in the middle of the grass. As I watch everyone pass me, I'm in 10th or 11th. I start driving out of the grass, and a green shell comes and then smacks me. And I was just like, I'm not even gonna hit the accelerator the rest because I knew I was getting 12th, and that pretty much summed up the whole tournament for me. I only had one race where I got out in front and didn't get destroyed, so it was rough. And I was on Red Knight's side. Playing like that made me not want to play it again right away. It was just too frustrating. I know it's for fun. I wish I had your outlook, but I struggled. So. Anyway, do you have any stories or any memorable moment from that tournament? I know it's last week. It's hard to remember, but
Yeah, I got one where I had 3 red shells, and I went ahead and I smacked red 3 times, and I timed them perfectly so they'll hit them all 3 times. You know what I mean? So made sure I smacked them 3 times, and after I passed him, he got 3, and he went ahead and returned the favor, and I was fairly upset about it, dude. But that's my highlight.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it has moments like that. There's always moments like that, and it kind of keeps it interesting. So I don't mind changing it up every once in a while, but I'm gonna go back to regular items for this Wednesday. And I did want to say I had a tournament on Saturday, and a lot of people couldn't make it. We only had 11 people race, and I ended up getting first in that, so I wanted to congratulate myself because that's the first time I've had a win in probably maybe 2 months in Mario Kart in one of my tournaments. So I kind of practiced all week after that disaster on Wednesday, and it definitely made a difference. So look forward to this Wednesday. It's gonna be regular items, regular rules, standard rules, 150cc, and yeah, look forward to people racing. We had 25 participants, so we didn't drop off too bad from the giveaway contest where we had up to 37, I think, was our peak. So as long as we can stay up like 20ish, I'm gonna be really happy with that. So appreciate everyone who participates, and Owen. I gave you the win, but if it's true you're fire hopping, appreciate if you wouldn't do that again. But otherwise, you had to avoid the items still, so you must have done something other than fire hop to get the victory. But that's about it. Rel, I did want you to, just kind of talk about on Saturday you went to Dave and Buster's and you actually played the Mario Kart arcade, the new version, and
Right.
I just thought you could go ahead and kind of describe the experience and how it was set up. Were you sitting in like a cart, or how did it work? Once you just let everybody know how that was.
It's just the setup is just kind of like it's just like I guess like a regular arcade one. It wasn't like because I played the F-Zero one before too, and it's like a whole motion type thing when you get in the F-Zero one. I don't know if you guys ever played that one, but this one was just like kind of like just like a regular like racing arcade game, and you just kind of sat in it, and you had your buttons over here to which is my right here, and then you throw your items and stuff like that. But one thing that I was saying is that the game, you can tell the game is developed. I don't know if Nintendo's had their touches in it or anything, but you can definitely tell it's developed by Namco. But it was still fun. I think I can't remember all the characters, but I know they had one of the characters that stood out was Bowser Jr. and Pac-Man was in it. And I didn't use Pac-Man. I rode with my main Donkey Kong, and it was a good time. I played with my younger brother, and we went co-op. You can go co-op or you can go verse, but we went co-op, and then like you get item. You select your character. You take your picture, as you know. I took my picture with my Donkey Kong hairstyle, whatever it is, up at the top, and then and then you like do like a random item thing. You select it selects a whole bunch of random items, I guess, that you're going to use throughout that match. And one of the items that you get to use that I thought was cool was with the co-op. You and your partner, you guys co-op into one vehicle, and it's like a tank. And one person's the driver, one person's the gunner, and they're shooting and you're just shooting green shells at everybody. So I mean, the game is fun. It's definitely fun. It's definitely different than all the other Mario Karts that I've played. So
Has
I
it
mean,
got like a steering wheel, or has it just got a stick?
no, it's a steering. It's got a steering wheel. It's got a steering wheel, and just like I said, just to throw your items, you have your steering wheel, and then you have your button right here just to like launch your items and stuff. You hit the question blocks and everything, but you only get the items that I guess that they randomly pick for you in the beginning when you're selecting your character.
Okay. Jay or T, I mean, we talked a little off air. You haven't played the newer Mario Karts, but I've never played the arcade version of Mario Kart in any form. You guys have any thoughts on the Mario Kart arcades from the past? T, I think you said you played it from the GameCube era. There was
Yeah, I think that was developed by Namco as well. I think it was like Mario Kart XZ or something like that, something. I can't remember the subtitle, but yeah, I remember it being just gorgeous. I think it was using the same engine that they made. Maybe it was Sega, because I think it had the same engine that was on the F-Zero at the time, F-Zero GX. So I just remember it being gorgeous and fast, and it was a lot harder than the console one, that's for sure.
Do you drift? Is drifting a focus?
Yeah, there was some drifting in there. Yeah, I remember that. But I got owned pretty well by the computer, so I didn't play very long.
Yeah, I seen it was before the Wii U came out. I seen some footage of a Mario Kart arcade, and I was just like, holy shit! I wish Mario Kart would look that good. And then now we got it.
Right.
Not that good, but Jay, do you have any experience with a Mario Kart arcade?
Actually, I do not.
Okay, you're in the same
I thought I
boat.
did, but I don't. Yeah.
There's no arcades anywhere in, like Detroit, which is like 3 hours away, is probably the only Dave and Buster's that I can think of around me. So that's a little too far of a drive, I think. But yeah, it sounds like it's pretty cool. I mean, it'd be awesome if like they had like 8 of them next to each other or something, and you could all race, side by side or something like that. That'd be a pretty cool experience. But anyway, let's get on to the TGS, Tokyo Game Show. We talked a little bit about this, Jay, in the Gamers at Large podcast last night, but I'm going to give everybody a chance to talk about maybe their highlights and maybe something they were disappointed in. So I'm going to go with Mizza Tee first. You have any highlights from TGS or anything?
Just come back to me real quick. I got to.
Okay. Jay, why don't you go?
All right. Well, a highlight I had was man, there was a lot of good ones. I guess my favorite one would probably been like the new Nintendo 3DS that they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They were showing off some of the features of it, and they were showing off gameplay with Monster Hunter 4, which I actually was like, you know what? Yeah, I need that. Like, yeah, okay, Capcom, I got you. You got my attention, Capcom. Yes, I will spend money on that. So yes, you got it. Now just bring it over.
It was good to hear that right nub, the control nub or whatever, was, I guess, really worked really well, especially for Monster Hunter for moving the camera. So that was good to hear. The hands-on of the new 3DS seemed to be pretty positive.
Yeah, that was what surprised me, because I thought people were gonna hate like they were hating before, but I guess as soon as they actually got to actually spend some time and actually play with it, they saw its functionality. So I was actually happy about that. Let's see, was there anything else that I could think of off the top of my head that I didn't say last night?
Well, they had a Bloodborne 30-minute demo. They had Sunset Overdrive playable.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't Bloodborne. It wasn't that. It wasn't Sunset, but it was it was Fatal Frame one. It was actually Fatal Frame one.
Yeah, that trailer.
Yeah, that one, the Guillermo del Toro lookalike trailer that he did. 'Cause I'm waiting for Guillermo del Toro to say he's making that movie. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, to me that looks better than even that concept trailer for Silent Hill. Like that just. No way the game's gonna look like that. So, Fatal Frame. I'm not a horror movie person, but that game, I like horror games more than horror movies. So that looks pretty awesome. Anything that you just saw and you're like, that's not as good as I thought it was gonna be, or anything disappointing that you saw or didn't see? I guess anything missing that you hoped would be there?
Well, I was hoping that they was gonna say something about Kingdom Hearts 3, but they really didn't. That was the game that I was actually looking forward to. I'm a big KH fan, so I was actually looking forward to seeing them say something about it. I mean, I don't need a release date. Just say, hey, it's here.
Do you think maybe the shift they're having? I forget how to pronounce the name. The director kind of got. Do you think maybe they're refocusing the game a little bit or something, or?
Well, they may be because the problem. I know what the problem was. The problem was he was directing both Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. He was directing both of them, and that was obviously a little bit too much for one person to take on. So they've shifted him from Final Fantasy 15 to solely Kingdom Hearts 3. So I'm guessing they're trying to make it. I'm hoping they're not rushing anything, but I'm guessing they're trying to make sure that they get at least one of those games out within the next year and a half.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I could think at this point as to why they would do that.
that sounds like a pretty logical theory there. So Mizza Tee, you ready?
We're talking TGS here?
Yeah. Did you have anything that really stood out as a highlight, or anything that maybe was a disappointment? You can go in either order, whatever one you want to start with.
I was pretty surprised by I think there was an announcement for a new Phantasy Star game, but I wasn't sure if that was a PS4 or PS Vita game. I wasn't sure. Anybody know?
Vita.
Yeah, I thought it was
Was it
Vita.
Vita? Oh,
It's
damn.
Vita.
Well, I
still
mean,
making games for that, huh?
yeah,
Somebody.
I don't have either one of those yet, so either way. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I was hoping to see more. I was expecting, well, I guess I was hoping that Sega would, announce something like a Shenmue or something coming back, or that would have really made it great for me. But no, didn't happen. But as far as I guess that would be a disappointment. Overall, I mean, I got what I expected to see. I'm still really excited for Sunset Overdrive. Also, yeah, I was really happy to see that the 3DS, once people actually got it in their hands, got better received, because that's what happens all the time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When people get their hands on the actual thing, all that nonsense goes away. So, my biggest thing that I was looking forward to as far as the 3DS goes is the actual 3D of it, because I'm one of the fools that I love to play in 3D. And to be able to do so without it being a task, because you only have such a certain amount of range before it gets blurry and starts messing with your eyes. So I don't remember people talking about that too much. I don't know, but from what at least the initial video said, the range of motion, it was a lot wider. So I think that's a pretty big breakthrough.
Yeah, and plus they also said the 3D looked better, not just from the angles, it also just looked better overall.
Yeah, it looked better overall. So yeah, I mean that's exciting enough for me. That was enough reason for me to get the new 3DS. And obviously there's a hardware upgrade as well. And the analog stick, the nub, whatever you want to call it, C stick. So I didn't really care. I wasn't one of those people that were, they needed a second analog stick, because like I always said before, is that I didn't want a bunch of ports from other consoles, and we're kind of getting one with Xenoblade Chronicles now that they have the a second analog. So I don't think Nintendo will go too crazy with that, but yeah, I mean overall it was pretty good, pretty decent showing.
I'm gonna go to Rel. I don't know what you saw from TGS. I guess I didn't ask you beforehand. You were kind of busy on Saturday and stuff. Did you see any of the TGS stuff, or did you have a highlight? Or
I didn't see a whole lot, but I mean I don't really have no low light, because I didn't follow, but I did check on I actually went to IGN, which I don't like to go to too much, but I went there, and some of the guys, they were talking about how good the new 3DS is, how he was looking at it like, okay, what do I need to upgrade for? And then like T said, he put it in his hands and he was like, okay, I see what's going on here. You know what I mean? He's saying like the 3D does have like a bigger range. He was saying that it was. He said he didn't turn off the 3D not one time. And he said that nub, it doesn't move. And he said he doesn't know if it's going to be real precise for like if they bring a first-person shooter. But he was saying that the nub works well because he played it with Monster Hunter, and he said, man, it works good, and definitely something he's picking up. So, I mean, that was a highlight for me, hearing that, you know what I mean? All the people that were worried, like, oh, no, it's not going to work or whatever, it's all out the window. People have had hands-on with it now, and they like it.
You were going to be a day one purchase of the new 3DS from the get-go. So.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw this to you guys before I talk about my highlights. Did you feel like this, especially with this and Gamescom, that Nintendo missed opportunity to maybe keep their momentum going a little bit stronger? Because really, they wouldn't have had to done much to really steal the show at either Gamescom or TGS. Maybe a new trailer for Splatoon or something, put together a sizzle reel for Yoshi, a new Yoshi trailer, maybe show some Zelda. I mean, I know they probably wouldn't want to do that for TGS, but do you guys feel like Nintendo could have seized an opportunity with this and Gamescom being a little bit lackluster overall? Anybody have any thoughts on that theory?
Well, I mean, I guess they probably could have done something, like you said, a trailer for Splatoon. But you know how Nintendo works; they got their own kind of schedule. I'm sure they're working on a pretty big Nintendo Direct, probably scheduled for early next year or maybe even late this year. But let's be honest here. Nintendo, at least from my angle, is got the better holiday going. Better holiday games and whatnot coming out anyway. So I think Smash is gonna rule everything once that drops. I mean, that's just how it's gonna go, and so people will already be in tuned to what's going on the Nintendo side. So I don't think they really had to do too much, and there wasn't that much they could do to keep such and such momentum going. I think the games are the only thing that's really going to do that, because not everybody tunes into this stuff like we do. We're hardcore gamers, so
That's true.
we tune into this stuff. So we're already in tune to what they're going to do. So we're already, we're not the audience that that would help as far as sales going into the holiday season. I think the games are going to tell that story. And from my angle, again, I think Nintendo has the best stuff coming out. I'm looking at my list for consoles and what I'm looking for, and my 3DS and Wii U are dominating as far as what games I want. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of it that way. Jay, do you have anything you want to add to that, or?
Not really, because I think that's what they were doing at first. I was like, especially with Gamescom, I thought they kind of had missed something. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? They already told everybody what was coming out for the rest of the year. They're probably just gonna hold off until like December to do a direct, because the rumor is they're gonna have a major release every month next year for the next year and a half, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they're gonna probably wind up doing, is just saving that for the direct, because Nintendo likes to do their own, so people will know from them instead of from somebody else. So I think, just like T said, it's probably just going to come in a direct, and then we'll see, like, especially with the stuff that's coming out for the first half of next year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you guys hit the nail right on the head. I would expect a direct in late or mid-December to early January, revealing their plans for 2015. So, yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad I asked, though, because I was thinking of it all wrong there. So that was cool. So I'm going to go over my highlights, and it's very surprising to me because the highlight for me is a sequel to a game and a game series that I haven't been that big of a fan of. It's actually the reason I bought a PS3 when I did, and it was Metal Gear Solid 4. And I played the game once, and I barely remember anything from it. It didn't leave much of an impact. The only thing I remember is the Wesley Snipes-like character, the arms dealer with like the white hair. That's the only thing I can remember from that game. But I thought Metal Gear Solid 5 really took me by surprise. Not only with the amazing like character models and like the emotion on the acting. Sorry, I just opened some. Like the facial animation and the emotions. I know some people don't like the movie aspect of some of these games or the cinematic feel, but I think there's certain games that can benefit from it. I just hope they don't do what they did with 4 and make 45-minute cutscenes that you have to sit through. But other than that, they showed gameplay in this jungle, and it looked really cool. The open world seems slightly limited, where you can't just... I think you have to be sent to different areas. I don't think you can just walk from one area to the next. But when you get to an area, it seems pretty open. You can take any path. And they showed a jungle, and he called in the female sniper Quiet, and she has some really cool like abilities. And it seemed like a really cool looking game that I really want to play. So that really took me by surprise, because I'm like Francis. I don't really like Konami. I don't like the choices they made over the years, and the fact that Metal Gear Solid 5 was like the highlight of the whole TGS for me was really surprising. So I'm actually really excited about that game, even though I thought what was that, Ground Zeroes, that little thing they put out, that demo they charged people for?
Oh yeah,
That really made me mad, and the fact that they're skipping the Wii U and it's coming out on every other system bugs me. But I'm a gamer, so I want to play the game. When it comes out, I'm going to buy a system, or if it's on PC, I'm going to play the game. So that was a highlight for me. The Fatal Frame trailer was cool. I didn't think it was as good as the Fatal Frame gameplay trailer they showed like a month ago, but it really showed off, the horror and some of the creepiness of that game. The disappointing thing, and Tia, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I watched the Sunset Overdrive, like a 10-minute gameplay, just a regular person playing, and the dude, maybe he just sucked at video games, but he could not keep the camera facing the right direction. It looks like you have to constantly maneuver the camera to try to see the big enemies you're facing when you're jumping on rails, like in the trailers, and when they have like a staged demo, they always had the camera like pan in cinematic ways, but this guy was struggling to get the camera facing the right way, so that's got me a little bit worried.
Oh no.
So maybe it was just a terrible player playing, but it was, like I said, it's not a staged demo. It was an actual person. It was off screen. Somebody was holding the camera, so it got me a little bit worried. But so that was kind of a low point for me, because I was like, that game could have been something to maybe nudge me a little bit further towards getting the Xbox One maybe by the end of this year or early next year. So that was a little disappointing to see, but that's pretty much it. And the one game we didn't really talk about is what I want to talk about in the next segment here is Hyrule Warriors. And I haven't had Jay or Mizza Tee on any of my Juices Loose episodes. Me and Rel, we've talked about this with Derek and Mike over and over and over. So I guess I want to get your guys' take on just Hyrule Warriors in general, and then with the announcement of DLC and the season pass coming before the game's even released, I guess get your guys' take on Hyrule Warriors. Just give a quick summary of from the beginning when they announced it to this point now, and then we'll talk about the season pass and DLC and our feelings on that. So I guess Jay, why don't you go first? Just give us your opinions on Hyrule Warriors, and I think you're getting it, right? You got it pre-ordered, or?
Oh heck yeah, pre-order paid off, waiting for it to get here.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll start when I first saw the official trailer. A lot of people that I talked to when they say they first saw the trailer, they didn't really like it. I kind of did because I like Dynasty Warriors, and I thought it was an interesting little mashup. So plus I know it was Tecmo Koei, and I knew it was going to look way better than that final product. So as it went along, especially when they started ramping up the advertisements showing like the character trailers, like Impa, Zelda, Lana, Rutu, Sheik. They started showing all the character trailers. I was like, dude, this is actually it looks better and better every time I see it. And then they showed Super Saiyan 3 Ganon. And I was like, you know what? Yep, I'm getting this game, dude. At that point, I'm like, yeah, you got me sold on this one. So it's one of those games where I don't mind. I don't mind mashups of franchises. I really don't mind if it's done in a cool way, and I think that this was actually done in a cool way with respect to the to both series actually. So it's something that fans of both series would actually enjoy. So I mean, it's Zelda and it's Dynasty Warriors. So I don't see how fans of either one of the series wouldn't like it. Because especially with that Hyrule Direct that they did, the Hyrule Warriors Direct, where they actually showed little homages to the Legend of Zelda series, especially with the adventure map and all of that, looking like a 8-bit Zelda game. I thought that was actually pretty interesting. So they're putting in a lot of stuff to keep the game fresh, in my opinion. So you shouldn't run out of stuff to do.
And have you played the demo yet?
Yeah, I played it in Best Buy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So
Yeah, the demo's what convinced me to actually get the game. So I'm gonna go to Rel next because I know you have it pre-ordered, paid in full already, and you played the demo multiple times. So why don't you give your feelings, your up-to-date feelings on Hyrule Warriors, and what you thought playing the demo multiple times, if that helped you decide to pre-order or not.
Well, playing the demo the second time is what made me know for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get this day one. But I played it again. When was it? I think it was
Saturday.
Saturday. I mean,
Yeah.
or yeah, it was one of them. And I played it again, and it's still good fun, man. I mean, I played Dynasty Warriors before, and it gets kind of repetitive. But like Jay was saying, the mashup of it, I think, is what bringing a lot of getting us hyped about it. Getting a lot of Nintendo guys hyped about the game. But I like it, man. I'm kind of in agreement with what you were saying when we were talking. Me, you, Mike, and Still Fox. That maybe it's not quite worth the $60, but I kind of agree with that. And then all the DLC too.
All right,
But I mean,
we'll
it's
get to the DLC in a little bit here. I want to
okay.
get to Mizza Tee. I have no idea your opinions on this game. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about it. So.
All right. Well, this is an exclusive then. The initial reveal, I was like, okay, that looks cool. It'll be a nice little filler game. Because it did kind of look bland graphically. We just didn't know what to expect. You knew it was going to be Hyrule Warriors basically set in a Zelda world. But then the next reveal was like night and day. It was just like, whoa. Nintendo was actually adding a lot of input into this game because you weren't really sure about that in the beginning. So it was just refreshing to see that. And visually, it got way better. You started to see all these characters evolve and emerge, and you're like, oh, this is. I mean, because I'm already a Musu fan. I'm already a Dynasty Warriors fan. For me, Dynasty Warriors and Musu type games are the evolution of the beat 'em up genre.
Mm-hmm.
I would still like to be able to get a traditional beat 'em up at some point. Hopefully that genre comes back. But for me, that's why I kind of got into those games because they were kind of the evolution of beat 'em ups for me. So I've always been into those games. And then you say, okay, we'll take a game genre that you're really into, and then we'll throw it into Zelda. And I'm like, yeah, that's like my favorite, probably my favorite gaming franchise. As The Legend of Zelda. So when they put that together, it was like a no-brainer for me, and a lot of things that are coming out that I'm hearing about it. I haven't played the demo myself, but a lot of people seem to like it. People that aren't even fans of Dynasty Warriors, so that's really good, a good sign for me. So yeah, man, I'm looking I'm gonna get more detail into it because I have a Pretendo Direct coming up about it. But yeah, mine is also pre-ordered and paid off, so I guess this is the pre-order paid off club.
Mine is pre-ordered and paid off too. I got mine from Amazon because I wanted the Twilight Princess skins. So I don't know where you guys pre-ordered yours from. I guess we could go. Jay, where'd you pre-order yours from?
GameStop. Had to get the Ocarina of Time, dude.
Rel,
My
you're
favorite game in the series, dude. We had to get it.
Mizza Tee, let me ask you something. Do you, in your Pretendo video that's coming out, do you talk about how people are saying that people that don't like Dynasty Warriors games shouldn't be buying this game just because it's Zelda? I mean, there's been a lot of that talk.
Yeah, I actually had a small little video that touched on that, but I guess I will throw that in because I didn't realize that it was as big as it is, that people are talking about that. But I think that's a stupid argument because that's the point of a mashup game, is to draw in fans of other genres that maybe don't like that type of game. So that it's a stupid argument to have. It's like, okay, you're arguing about the reason for this game even being is to bring in people, because that's what it is. That's what mashups are for. You're supposed to, bring in an audience that isn't, too keen on that genre. So it's just stupid.
I agree. It's like you're only buying this because it's a Wii U exclusive and Zelda. Like, I'm buying it because exactly what you just said, because they got me. I'm a Zelda fan. I want to try this game, and maybe I'll go back and play Dynasty Warriors games. Maybe I won't like it, but either way, it's working on me because I'm not never played a Dynasty Warriors game, and now I'm getting Hyrule Warriors, and I'll know. And it's like that's the whole point. That's why it exists. So yeah, let's talk about the DLC and the season pass, and then we'll move on. They announced at TGS that there was going to be 4 DLC packs with various new characters, and a new item, and a new adventure map, which we don't know exactly what that means. Is it going to be a Link to the Past map, or is it going to be the NES map every time? But and then there's my two of my least favorite words put together when talking about video games: season pass for $20. It doesn't save you a whole lot over buying them separately. So, and without knowing exactly all the details, that really kind of almost made me reconsider getting the game. That's an EA thing for me. Season Pass makes me think of EA and Activision, but this one's not $50. It's not 60. But like Raul had hinted at, we were talking in a chat, and I was saying, maybe if they're gonna have a season pass and DLC, maybe the game should have only been 50 to start with, because it seems like maybe they didn't have all the content they wanted in right away, and the fact that they announced the DLC before the game's even out just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But then I thought about it, I was like, I had fun playing the demo, and I'm gonna get it, and so I pre-ordered it on Sunday, I believe, through Amazon, and I had it go second day air, so I'd have it on launch day on Friday, so I'll be able to play it. But I guess, Jay, why don't we start with you? What's your thoughts on the DLC and the fact that there's a season pass, and for a Nintendo game, I know it's Tecmo Koei, but it's got Zelda's name on it. How do you feel about how they're handling it, and are you gonna support it with the season pass, or just maybe some of the separate DLC?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, DLC with me it's kind of iffy, because there are some good DLC, there's some bad DLC. This one, I think they told everybody what their plan is for it, because the packs are all spaced out. From what I've seen, they're all going to be spaced out, kind of like the Mario Kart 8 DLC packs are. They're going to be spaced out, so they already have it in plan. So that I don't think they're all done personally. At first, and I'm still up in the air about getting the season pass or not. I really am. I may get it, I may not. It just depends, because the one pack that I really want is the Majora's Mask pack. They got me on that one. When they said that one, that you're getting like 2 characters and a map, I'm like, okay, all right, you got me. I'll do it. So, I mean, they got a way of getting you. Because one of them is Twilight Princess, one of them is Majora's Mask. I forgot what the other 2 are. So I'm like, I may go on to get it, just especially if they do the thing where they give you something that's cheaper if you get all 4 packs at the same time. I may do that, because that's what I did for the Mario Kart 8 one. I just went on and bought both packs, even though I really just wanted Link. So I mean, it's one of those situations. I kind of like how Nintendo's approach to DLC, with letting you know what it is and giving you something free for getting whatever. So I kind of like it so far, but yeah, only time will tell. But I don't know if I'm going to get all of them, but I may. It just depends on what I see, and what more information I see about it.
Okay, and before I go to T, I'm just gonna put something that came into my mind when I saw that, and I'm looking at Bayonetta 2. It comes with the first game. It's not a complete remaster from what I've been seeing. It's a solid port with some extra costumes and stuff for 60, or you get Hyrule Warriors with the season pass for 80, and it just seemed a little bit like that's where I was kind of struggling with it. It didn't seem like as good of a deal as some of the other games. Mario Kart 8 DLC, it just didn't seem like as good of a deal. And I know this isn't a Nintendo first-party game, so with that in mind, T, how are you feeling about the announcement of the DLC and the season pass?
Well, I'll continue on from what you were just saying. There's that it would have been so much better if this game was $49.99. That would have been a nice sweet spot, and then the DLC pushing it up to 70 would have been a little bit better, I think. I've done a video on DLC. It's called Broken Gamers equals Broken Games. I talk about how I'm not a fan of certain types of DLC, like skins and things of that nature, because back in the day that used to be stuff you unlocked from the game, especially skins. So I'm not too keen. I've never been too keen on buying a skin for anything because I feel like it should be in the game. And yes, if they announce DLC before the damn game's out, that kind of annoys me because why isn't that in the game? It's like, why isn't that a part of it? But yeah, I understand that some of this stuff is spaced out. It's not coming right away. That's why you have the season pass going on. So I understand that. It's a okay kind of deal. It would have been perfect at 15, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't come with the deal. The season pass doesn't come with all the skins for the pre-order bonus skins that eventually become available.
Right,
from
you
what
got
I understand.
bonuses everywhere. I mean, that kind of stuff, just turns me off. So it's good content that's in there. I mean, the game seems to be already pretty deep and robust, but I just think for the type of game that it is, it should have been itself $10 cheaper, and that would have made the DLC package a little bit better for me to swallow. At this point, I'm just really on the fence about it. Don't know. I'll probably have to wait until I get the game before I decide. So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I also wanted to point out my game of the year right now was $50 brand new, and that's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And that game had like a 2-3 year development cycle, and it was just a really solid game with a lot of. I mean, that took me a good month to finish that game, probably like 40. I think it was 40 hours. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it, but I could see both sides of it there. Rel, I cut you off earlier when talking about that. I think you kind of agreed with me a little bit, but why don't you just go ahead and give your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, like for me, being that I bought Call of Duty season passes before, $20 is like a steal for me. So I'm like kind of like all over it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get it with that Dark Link skin. But I mean, I understand your point of views because it's like, how you gonna announce DLC in the game ain't out yet, man? You could have waited. You know what I mean? You could have waited. It just makes you look like, you're just trying to get an extra buck out of people. You know what I mean? So I mean, I see where you're coming from with that. I mean, I'm going to get it. Yes, I am. I try to get everything, but it's still kind of messed up the way they did it. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's almost like, there's two ways to look at it. With Assassin's Creed 4 was coming out, they're like, hey, the Wii U version's not getting DLC, like before the game came out, and everyone was all upset about it. Maybe this is them just saying, hey, we're going to support the game. You don't have to worry about it not getting content and not getting support down the road. And they're giving us a day one update with playable characters and stuff for free when the game comes out on Friday. So, they're giving a little and then they're asking a little in return. So, overall it's not terrible. But I wanted to get to another subject. We actually got some questions too, but let's see. We'll go to the topic I wanted to bring up since I had the two movie guys here, and I don't know, Rel, we've never talked about movies. I don't know if it's not your thing, you don't have to say anything, but Jay and Mizza Tee and I, we've had a few different discussions about movies, and we're all pretty passionate. So I just want to do something different here. I wanted to ask your guys' take on kind of this lackluster summer of movies. Even 4th of July didn't even have. I think the movie was Tammy was like the big 4th of July movie, which is really sad. So I'll get your guys' take on like the summer movies. The box office has been terrible. Maybe what your top 1 or 2 movies was this summer. And Mizza Tee and I had a disagreement about Godzilla, so maybe we can flesh that out a little bit. So who wants to go first, T or Jay?
Go ahead, Jay.
All right. Well, the summer. Oh man.
And then we can start with early May, so it'd be like the spring.
Spring. Okay. All right. Well, if we're gonna start spring, then would you count April?
Yeah, we can count April.
All right. Well.
Of course.
Okay. So this is how it started out for me because I was actually looking forward to the summer season when Captain America dropped because Captain America's The Winter Soldier was an excellent movie. I loved that movie. I think I went and saw it 3 times in the theater because we had a D box. So
Oh
I
yeah.
love D box. So
I like sitting behind the D box, getting the same experience, almost the same experience for free.
basically, yeah. I thought it started off good. I mean, Captain America was a strong movie to me. I enjoyed it, and then May hit, and Amazing Spider-Man hit,
Mm.
and boy, did that hurt my heart. And then, and I'm gonna say this because I actually watched the original. I did not mind Godzilla. I actually enjoyed it because to me it paid homage to the '54 movie, and the original movie was kind of like that, where you didn't see a lot of Godzilla till the end. So I actually liked Godzilla. But I understand why people didn't like it. I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I actually enjoyed it. I'm kind of glad they're actually going to get a part 2, so we can actually get the fight that I want. I want Mothra. I want Mothra. So I can get the fight I want. So yeah, I like that. Then we get into good old June, and one of my favorite directors, Michael Bay. That Transformers were. You talk about somebody mad hot in a theater. I was mad as hell. Because the problem with that movie was it was too long and it was too slow to warrant being in there. I'm sorry. And anytime you got an actress in there that make you want Megan Fox.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted Megan Fox from the beginning, but that's a different context.
I wanted Megan Fox in there just because I'm like, dude, I missed her. I really missed her when I had to deal with that other chick.
That's scary.
And I'm sorry, man. Nicola Peltz, no disrespect, but you had the Selena Gomez effect to me. You did not look like an adult. You look like you was like 15. And that dude that you were dating looked my age. I'm sorry, and I'm 34, so I'm sorry. I wasn't buying that. Yeah. Then what came out in July? July.
You missed Edge of Tomorrow in there.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow. I actually liked Edge of Tomorrow. I did like Edge of Tomorrow. I can't believe I missed that one. I did like Edge of Tomorrow. I watched it. I thought it was fun. At first, I thought it was kind of stupid, but it kind of grew on me after a while. You know. Mm-hmm. It wasn't horrible, but I actually kind of liked that. I kind of like the whole Looney Tunes aspect of it when he first started, doing what he did. So I mean, I'm not gonna get into it because people yell spoilers, but anyway, I kind of liked the movie as it went along. So yeah, there was Edge Tomorrow. That July. What was in July? Hercules was in July.
Tammy.
Yeah, Tammy was. Yeah, I didn't watch Tammy.
That was the 4th of July movie, so that tells you right.
I'm glad I was out of town. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I watched Hercules and I watched something else in July. What the heck was something else? Anyway, the Hercules movie, a lot of people didn't like it. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little fun, get you in and out movie because it was only like an hour and 30. Mm-hmm. It was an hour and 30 action movie. They got you in, they got you out. It was the People's Champ, The Rock. I mean, why not? I mean, it was The Rock beating up people. Why would I not watch that? So that, and then we get to August. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh
no,
yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was first. No, it wasn't. Guardians was first.
I think Guardians was first.
Guardians was first. I'll go with Guardians. Marvel, my hat's off to you. I love that comic. Y'all did a good job. I loved it. I thought James Gunn did an excellent job. They made a very good movie. Rocket Raccoon for the win. I love that guy. Then we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and with the fabulous acting of Megan Fox and the fabulous writing. I don't know who wrote that movie, but all I'm gonna say is this: you were better off leaving William Fichtner as Shredder. I'm sorry, because what they did with Shredder, it upset me. But I will give them props. The action when they had it in there was good. The Turtles themselves, after I was not impressed with the whole Baby Hulks, but I did think like once you got them on screen, it was fine. Like it wasn't as jarring as I thought it would be. I got used to it real quick. So, I mean, the worst parts of that movie was the actual story from the way they told it, and because they didn't even follow their own rules of their own story. So that was my problems with the movie, and like it wasn't to me. They made the actual turtles themselves side characters, and I don't appreciate when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen other movies where they do that crap, and it makes no sense. So
Yeah, it makes no sense. Then we come to Expendables 3. I actually like Expendables 3. I like Mel Gibson being Mel Gibson. And I did like the opening sequence with involving a prison break of Wesley Snipes, which I think that's what they actually did to get him in the movie. So,
good point.
I mean, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was actually a whole lot of fun. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and I think that pretty much rounded up for my.
Yeah, that was a good summary. So why don't you go ahead and give your top two, 1 and 2, and then your bottom 2 for the movies you've seen.
Okay, my top 2 is going to be the Marvel movies, Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy. They by far were, to me, the best of that from April to August. They were by far the best movies that were out. My bottom 2, the ones that got Michael Bay attached to it.
Fair enough.
The Transformers, and I will say why Transformers pissed me off. They do something in Transformers to me that made no sense at the end. You got me in the movie because I wasn't gonna go watch it after 3, but you got me in there by promising me Grimlock, and he don't show up to the last. That's how you know you're at the end of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's how you know you're at the end of the movie. When he shows up. So I'm like, that just annoyed me to no end. And then, the fabulous Academy Award winning acting skills of Megan Fox, that just, took the cake in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So those are my bottom 2.
I'm gonna go to T, but before that, I want your feelings on the girl from the third Transformers movie. How did you feel she did? I forget her name. That's
Rosie Huntington.
Yeah.
The model chick.
Yeah, the model.
I thought she did okay.
I thought she did okay. I thought she was all right. Like, a lot of people were trying to act like they were mad about it. I'm like, actually, no, she's actually not that bad. She really wasn't that bad. I mean, it's a Michael Bay movie, man. She's not going to be required to actually,
She's a walk up a staircase.
And people, I'm sorry, like some directors, you should know what you're getting into when you walk into when you see their name as director. You should already know what you're getting into. It's not being like, sexist or nothing. That's what Michael Bay does. He does it in every movie. So, I mean, that's his tropes. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think she was that bad, but because I really didn't think Megan Fox was bad in the first one. The second one, she was horrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Rosie Huntington-Whiteley was bad in the third one. I thought that script was bad. In this last one, I'm sorry, I didn't think any of it was good story-wise at all.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to switch directors, and I think that would help to breathe some life. So let's go to T. I don't know if you've seen all those movies. Why don't you maybe not go over every single one, just maybe pick some of your favorites, your top 2 and bottom 2?
Yeah, I'm not going to go. I haven't seen everything, but my top 2 are easily Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America. Easy. With Edge of Tomorrow being right there. Shame on you, movie fans, for not going to see Edge of Tomorrow. I feel like, and it's not all your fault because that movie was so poorly marketed.
Yes, it was.
It's not the movie that you think you're gonna see looking at those trailers and all that stuff. It's such an awesome movie. They're
trying to switch it up for the Blu-ray. It just says Live, Die, Repeat or something on the cover. It barely says Edge of Tomorrow, so maybe they're trying something different there. Because that was the biggest disappointment, was how poorly
I think it'll do great on Blu-ray, because I think the word of mouth about it afterwards has been really good.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that day one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome movie. You have to. I feel like if you're a sci-fi fan and you haven't watched that movie, shame on you. You need to watch this movie.
It's very original and very
original.
Lots of good humor, well-written humor, like smart. So
and you don't know. I mean, it's one of the few movies that surprised me. Like, it kept surprising me, and for a guy like me that's a really big movie guy, it's hard to do that. And they really surprised me a lot in that movie. So Yeah, those are my top three for sure. As far as Transformers, I feel like if you if you still going to Transformers movies, shame on you. Because halfway through Transformers 2, I was done with Transformers movies. Once they got to the Negro bots, it was all over for me. Stop going to see them damn movies until they change the director and producer. Please leave those movies alone. I'm done with that. For as far as Godzilla, we do have different opinions on Godzilla. For me, Godzilla is a throwback movie. It's a throwback monster movie because, you get all this CG and all this tech nowadays, and you think they should be showing all this stuff, and I just love the fact that they didn't do it. They kept teasing me, and while I was a little annoyed while watching it, the payoff at the end was well worth it to me. It was just like, man, that was one of the greatest monster fights I've ever seen ever, and it was just awesome. Once like I said, it felt like a throwback movie to me, because movies today you get everything in a damn trailer. Before you even go to sit down in the theater to watch it. And I just love the fact that the trailers teased you. When you got in the movie teased you. And that just, it worked for me. I can understand why people didn't like it. Like Jay said, I totally understand why some people wouldn't like it. But for me, it was right on the money.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it. What did you think of the lead, the kick-ass dude? I kind of thought he was kind of a weak lead.
He was kind of meh. And I don't know if it was his fault. They didn't really give him a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of character development there. So I don't know if it's his fault. But I think he's a better actor than he was in that movie. So
yeah, it seems like the writing, like he just was always in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and then it fell apart. I checked out before. I stayed to the end, but by the fight at the end, I was already out, like mentally. I had checked out, but I'm gonna check it out on DVD or Blu-ray. So what is your bottom two, I guess?
Well, it's kind of hard to have a bottom two because I've only seen one bad movie, and that would be
Just have one.
Terminator. Turtles, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people give it kind of a pass because they went in with really low expectations, and it wasn't completely terrible. I also went in with low expectations, but I pretty much got what I thought I was going to get, and it was worse in some aspects. I thought it was going to be a little better in, so that would be my bottom. And like I said, that was the only bad movie I saw. But Guardians of the Galaxy, it's my favorite Marvel movie, easy.
I got to see that.
It knocked Iron Man out of top. Iron Man first one was my top Marvel movie, and Guardians and Captain America knocked them out of the 1 and 2 spot for me. So it was one of the best movies this year. Not just Marvel movie, but to me it was one of the best movies.
I've heard. Just about everybody loved that movie that's seen it. So Jay, I'm going to give you a chance to pick a top 3, and I'm going to mention a movie that no one has is X-Men: Days of Future Past. No one talked about that one, but if you didn't like it, don't bring it up. But do you have a third? Because I'm going to do 3 as well.
Well, there was a reason why I didn't bring up X-Men. There was a reason why I didn't bring up X-Men.
I like it.
I am an X-Men fan. The Days of Future Past is one of my favorite X-Men stories. I have a serious issue with Bryan Singer.
Okay.
When it comes to comic book movies, but yes, that would probably be my number 3. Yes, that would probably be my number 3.
All right,
Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender saved it.
He's awesome. Ralph, you a big movie guy? We never talked about it.
Probably not as big as you guys, but
Why don't you
I just want to say is at least that both of them are right. Cap and Guardians, my 2 favorite Marvel movies now. Out of all of them that I've seen so far, Guardians is number 1. God, that was a dope movie. I mean, I didn't even think it was going to be that great, but Rocket Raccoon, and I like Drax. Drax had me rolling too, man. And what he say? Like something, it went over his head. He was like, nothing can go over my head. I'm too fast. I'll catch it or something crazy.
That was awesome.
Cracking up. Yeah, but yeah, that's it for me. That's all. I was just gonna say that.
Man, I should have seen that movie. I was like, I had a chance, but I forget there was some bad timing, and then I would have had to go and see it by myself. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not familiar with the comic books or anything, so I skipped it, and I'm kind of regretting it. But I'll buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. So I'm gonna do my top three, and it's pretty similar, except my number one was Edge of Tomorrow. I just something about that movie, and Emily Blunt, she's one of my favorite actresses. And Tom Cruise seems to always he always seems to surprise me with some of these movies, and I liked him playing like a douchebag in the beginning, just a sniveling, just like just his he usually
Spineless
just
little.
yeah he usually
Yeah.
plays just that badass from the start. He's usually
Yeah.
just the guy from the start. So I like that. Really surprised me with the comedy and the complex story and some of the best alien creature design I've maybe ever seen,
Oh
definitely in the
yeah.
last 10 years. Very original, so that was definitely. And then number two, since I didn't see Guardians, Captain America, Winter Soldier, that's my favorite Marvel movie, not having seen Guardians of the Galaxy. And my previous favorite, surprisingly, was Thor. I know a lot of people didn't like Thor, but I like Thor, and I like that better than the Avengers. I liked it better than Iron Man movies. So Captain America was awesome. Some of the best action, just straight up action cinematography I've seen in a long time. Those close up fights with the Winter Soldier like switching knife hands. He's like dropping the knife, catching it, and it was just really well shot, really well done. There's some fake stuff in there. It's a Marvel movie. Some really ridiculous things. And then number three for me was X-Men. I was a little bored at a couple points in the movie, but I thought it was really well done. I wasn't expecting it to be good after the last. I liked First Class, but it wasn't like amazing in my book. So that was the top three for me. And then really the only movie I didn't like was Godzilla, and it was. I understand the throwback and stuff like that, but the problem I had with the movie was it was just too long. It was almost 2 hours, if not more than 2 hours, and it felt like they could have cut out at least a half hour. There was some nonsense that happened, and then the whole thing with the main character whose name I don't know. His family was like in San Francisco, and instead of telling him just to get the hell out of there way ahead of time, he tells him to wait for him to get there. There was just some really bad story writing just to try to
Yeah. Some
keep the
holes.
characters all together, around Godzilla. So it just really didn't work for me. And I just read a review of the actual Blu-ray. I go to Blu-ray.com and I read actual reviews of the actual Blu-ray quality, and they said it was the best sound editing and the best just overall sound ever on Blu-ray since its inception. So
Wow.
you guys know me. I got a theater in my basement, so now I have to buy it. It's just a question of do I wait till it drops to $10 in a couple months, or do I pay full price now? So, but it just didn't do it for me, and I'm hoping a second viewing with different expectations, will help me like that movie more. And I didn't see Turtles. I didn't see Transformers. I will eventually probably see Transformers, but the third one was decent, better than the second one. But after the second time watching it, it gets worse every time I see it. So I'm giving up on that one. And Ninja Turtles, that'll be a rental. So that rest of the summer just kind of didn't seem like they had any heavy hitters around July. So I didn't go back to the theater ever since Edge of Tomorrow might have been the last movie I saw. So it was just a weird summer for movies and stuff. But I gotta say, you guys, I don't know, Miss T, I shared a picture. I bought the Crow on Blu-ray a while back for $5, and then I just picked up The Fifth Element on Blu-ray for $7.88. I'm kind of starting to buy some movies from my high school generation that I really loved, and I'm actually enjoying movies a lot more. I've been picking up Blu-rays almost every week now, just picking them up on sale and stuff, and just say I've been revitalized with movies because video gaming kind of took over my life ever since Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, pretty much. So it's just I'm really enjoying the movies again, and it's really awesome. There's been some pretty good movies over the last couple of years, and I'm catching up on some of them. So that's why I just want to talk about movies with you guys. I honestly could talk movies for the next 2 hours. We could talk about directors and give my thoughts on Zack Snyder and all that, but we're just gonna wrap this up. We got a few questions here if you guys got maybe another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well, first up we have Games Rosa, and he says hi. So I don't know if he's still watching. That was up a long time ago. So
Probably playing Mario Kart.
I was playing the Smash demo, I'm sure.
Or the Smash
I was gonna say.
All right, this one's from Coupon Strives, and I believe that's a girl, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this one to T. Thoughts on Tecmo Koei doing a Streets of Rage franchise if they could get their hands on that? What do you think, Mizza Tee?
I would love that. That would be pretty awesome. I'm so surprised why that genre kind of just died. It probably happened around Dreamcast?
Yeah.
When that genre died, beat 'em ups. I think the last one I remember actually going out and buying was like Dynamite Cop, I think it was called, for Dreamcast. And that was actually supposed to be Streets of Rage, but something happened with the licensing, and they had to change it. So yeah, I mean, that would be that would be awesome. Tecmo Koei, yeah, I'll be totally down for that.
Yeah, that would. I would say the last. I don't even think the last beat 'em up I bought that was newer, but my favorite of all time is the Ninja Turtles arcade. I love that game. I had so many fond memories of playing that in the arcade, and I would like some games like that to come back. But if you guys played the Guacamelee, that indie game, that download title.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
I just downloaded it, myself.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's like a beat 'em up mixed with like Metroid. So that one, I'm pretty much guaranteed I'm gonna get that game pretty soon. So yeah, that one it sounds like it has a throwback to a couple different genres. So I'm gonna throw this one, Terrell TIGF. He's asking because I mentioned if all the skins were included in the season pass, that would be a better deal. So he asked, would I be more intrigued to buy the season pass if all the DLC and the skins were in one thing? Definitely. And like if T's $15, if that was true, I mean the $15, it's only $5, but it's just the principle of it. If it was 15 and had all the skins in it, I would highly consider it. I mean, I'd probably almost guarantee I'd get it. So what do you guys think? If it came with everything, like all the skins and everything for the 20, would that make it better for you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a purchase, I think, for me.
Yeah, I think so. And Game said, yep. I'm guessing too. He's probably played Mario Kart. He said, yep. Goanna. What? I didn't pre-read this question. What painting poster behind you would you jump inside of, like Mario 64? What one would you be scared to? That's interesting. I would have to say the Donkey Kong one because I don't like jungles. I don't like the idea of all those snakes and bugs. So, what about you guys?
Yeah, 3D World would be the most inviting for me. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to jump into 3D World.
And there's not a lot going on with the Zelda world.
No.
So you just jump in there and hang out with Link on a gold background.
It'd be like the Matrix, like when you're waiting in that white room. Interesting question. I got to give them credit for creativity there. And you guys watch Korra? I know. I think Jay does or did.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I need to finish up this season.
So you're familiar with the universe. So Grayson Young asked, what type of bending would you want to have? Fire, earth, water, air? I'll have you answer that one.
Fire, probably.
Yeah.
Makes cooking a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it just seems like in this day and age, earth would be pretty handy though, especially if you can metal bend.
Yeah.
Mizza Tee, do you watch Korra or the Avatar: The Last Airbender? Did you ever watch?
I'm familiar with it. I've seen a few episodes. I kind of know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, I think fire. Probably fire. Yeah, it's cool to have that ability. So
it seemed like all the cool people were bending fire.
Yeah.
So, Rel, did you familiar with that series or anything?
I watched a little bit of it, but not
All
enough
right.
to really pick. But I'd pick Fire too,
You guys are all the
cause I
same.
like red.
I do want to say though, Avatar: The Last Airbender is my all-time favorite TV series, mythology, whatever. It's at the top for me. It was just the most amazing story arc to ever happen on a television series.
So you love the movie, I'm guessing.
No, don't even bring that doesn't
Nice
even
Shyamalan for the
deserve.
win.
That doesn't even that had that Nicole Peltz in it too. She played Katara and it was
Yes.
terrible. Yeah,
The twist was it sucked.
yeah.
Spoiler alert, it was terrible.
The twist was he took everything good about the show and threw that away and then wrote his own crap.
Yep.
He's
Gotta love,
pretentious.
gotta love those M. Night Shyamalan twists.
And if you ever, I have the series on DVD, and on season 2 they interviewed M. Night. That was when he got signed on to do the movie, and he was talking about how he loved every episode of the first season, and he was going to have trouble removing any of it. He wanted to have it all in there and have like a 4-hour movie. And then what he ended up doing was he only kept like part of 2 episodes, and the rest was just thrown out. So. Yeah, and I was following that movie every day with daily updates from production, from the set, from people reporting on it, and talk about disappointment.
It could have been the next Harry Potter series. It could have been.
It could have been, but why M. Night? I mean, he's the most passionate. He had a passionate pitch. Like he loved that series. His family loved it. His kids, they've watched it 4 or 5 times all the way through, and he just had a true passion for the series. But when he gets into filmmaking. He said, well, it's easy to draw snow and draw a giant, water spirit creature, but it's expensive to film and to create that in CG, so he had to cut a bunch of corners, but there's been other movies that did quite a bit in CG and pulled it off, so.
That is why you animate.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings was
I know.
pretty mild budget for the type of stuff we got, so you just got to be creative when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they spent most of their money on the Water Temple, Northern Water Tribe set. It was like an actual set that they created this huge temple and all this, and like that was like most of their budget. So that's a movie I would try to forget. Like if you guys didn't bring it up, I actually had forgotten that movie existed. So thanks for reminding me.
Dragon Ball Z Evolution. There you go. Take that too.
Yeah.
Hey man, hold up, man. Don't talk about DVZ, man. That did not happen. All right.
So
That was not real.
real quick, what's a video game movie done right? Has there been one in your guys' opinion? I thought the most entertaining, but not the greatest movie. Oh, and recently was the Prince of Persia one. I thought that was kind of an entertaining movie that captured a little bit of the series, but for the most part, they all pretty much suck. I think.
Oh
We're
man.
the same one here. Super Mario Brothers. No, I'm just
I actually kind of like the Prince of Persia movie.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay, but here's the problem that I have, like, because they when you talk about Hollywood doing it, yeah, they suck. If you talk about like Japan doing it, it's kind of 50-50 because like the Resident Evil movies over in Japan, like Degeneration, and I forgot the name of the other one, they were actually good, but they were CG.
Yeah.
They were fully CG, but they were actually good because they actually followed what was, the game storyline. So it was actually characters from the game that so you actually kind of liked it, and they was actually adding stuff to it or telling a story that happened in between, certain games, so you could actually keep up with it. Another one is what's that? And I know a lot of people didn't like this one, but I kind of did. The action when it was good anyway. It was Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete. I like that one.
I couldn't make it through that, but I'm not a Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah.
But I actually liked Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within as a movie and the idea, but it had nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that one was like the best lie ever created.
Talk about a misleading title for Final Fantasy
boy.
fans. What about Doom, the Rock movie? That was okay, I think. If you guys
Stop. I just watched it again recently, a couple of days ago on cable. it was even worse than I remember.
Hey, they had the BFG in it.
I mean,
Yeah, for like one shot, and he didn't
And
hit
then,
anything. It was
I
just
mean, didn't The Rock, spoiler alert, believe The Rock got killed in that movie, didn't he?
yeah, he was the bad guy.
yeah, he
Yeah,
was the bad guy. Yeah,
Which didn't make any damn sense.
no.
at all.
Yeah, it was just like
So-
Carl Urban was. I like Carl Urban, but
So do I.
he has zero charisma. Like he just they keep trying with him, and it's just not gonna work. That show.
They found a good mix with him in Almost Human on Fox with Dorian, his side or his partner or whatever. I thought they had a good chemistry, and I thought that was the best Carl Urban, like most personality he's ever had.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, that's Carl Urban's problem though. Like he has to, he needs somebody to act off of.
Right.
Cause like Lord of the Rings, he had like good actors to act off of. Even in Red, he was acting off of Bruce Willis. So he plays the dry guy or the straight man really well.
Mhm.
He has somebody to play off of.
Yeah.
So that's why it worked, in my opinion, with Almost Human. I hate Fox sometimes. That's why it works with me.
I loved him as Judge Dredd. He was awesome in
Yeah,
that.
that was good too.
Yeah. Okay, see, that was actually Judge Dredd.
Perfect for him. Yeah, it was.
The only thing good about the original Judge Dredd was Judge Hershey, if you ask me. Diane Lane looked good in those black spandex or whatever. So
Yeah.
That's my movie wife right there.
What was that? Unfaithful? That wasn't too
Oh
boy.
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So, one last comment about the whole movie video game thing. Okay, you take The Last of Us. They're I guess I forget who's bringing that out. Is that or Sony? Obviously, was probably bringing that out. That has the most potential to be like a good movie because the game was a good movie. So it had a good.
Yeah.
Now, as long as they just follow, like I was going to say earlier, the movies never follow the storyline of the game. They always make up some random thing that doesn't usually have anything to do with the movie or the game plot or the story. And if they stick to the Last of Us story, that's a good story right there. If they get good actors, that could be good, but then what's the point because the story's already in the game.
Right.
So what do you guys think about them always changing up the plot and the characters and for the movies? I mean, why do you think they do that?
A lot of times it's the studio. Their eyes get too big for what they have, and they want to try to get the biggest audience they can.
Yeah, make it more broad appeal.
Right, whatever the trend is, they try to throw that in there too instead of keeping the core of what made it an awesome game. Or I think you're right on with that. They just need to leave, especially for Last of Us. I mean, it's already a movie, like you said. I think fans of the game ain't gonna like it, but people that aren't fans of the game, which is most of the movie-going audience, which is gonna be 90-something% of the people who go see the movie, they're gonna think it's an awesome movie. So just leave it like it is.
Yeah, there's some really good, emotional moments in there. If they can get the acting right, because the voice acting and the facial acting of the animators for the characters was amazing. Like,
oh yeah,
they could just edit that together and film and just create some filler scenes for where you have the gameplay.
Make sure to get Ellen Page and
to play Ellen Page.
The early reports are the girl from Game of Thrones.
Arya,
Yeah.
Maisie.
Yeah, one of the girls from the Teens React to the NES.
That was funny.
the frickin'
insane.
Punch Out. They couldn't even beat Glass Joe.
Oh boy.
That was hilarious. I'm like, y'all losing to the easiest guy on here, dude.
Yeah, I almost lost to him. I picked it up after about a year, and it took me 3 rounds to beat that bastard.
Ooh, exposed.
But I did beat the next 2 guys in the first round, and so I redeemed myself. So yeah, I'm gonna end up with one more question. Grayson Young asked, and it's kind of a big question, and maybe we could just limit it to 2 or 3. What games are you most looking forward to in 2015? As Nintendo fans, I'm guessing our number one's all going to be pretty much Zelda. But why don't we just go with Rel? You haven't said nothing in a while, so what are, let's just say 2 games you're looking forward to the most in 2015?
Go with Zelda and Splatoon. I was on
Solid.
those 2.
Jay?
Well, it's obviously going to be Zelda, and it's going to be either Splatoon or Xenoblade Chronicles. I haven't made up my mind on Splatoon yet, but it's looking like those are my other. They're tied for second place right now.
Okay. What about you, Mizza Tee?
Yeah, for me it's Zelda and Xenoblade Splatoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna do three. I'm gonna do three. I'm gonna do Zelda, and I gotta see more of Splatoon. I'm gonna put that at third. And I'm gonna put Yoshi's Woolly World at number two because platformer is my favorite genre, and I love that art style. Looks like I said before that's Nintendo's take on realistic visuals because it actually looks like real yarn. Everything was made from actually realistic looking yarn. So that's how them doing realistic visuals is they just take something like that. Same with Kirby with that claymation. I mean, that just looks like real clay on screen. So those are mine. But yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a great podcast. I love talking about movies. I don't know about if my audience loves listen to us talk about movies, but I kind of wanted to create a second series where I just talk about movies, and I don't know if that's going to work or not. But great talking with you guys. So why don't you go ahead and give your outros and promote anything you got coming on your channel. So I'll start with Mizza Tee.
Well, it was awesome. I'm glad I finally got on with you. Here was on a wonderful podcast. I think I already let the cat out the bag with the Pretendo Direct coming, so that's coming. And also my long-awaited Wii U Gamepad Advantage video. So I've been talking about that for like 8 months now. It's embarrassing.
You sure that's coming?
It's coming this week for sure. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, guys, had a great time.
Yeah, I look forward to that Gamepad Advantage. By the time it comes out, the gamepad's going to be excluded from the box, but according to all the haters. So, all right, Jay, what you got coming up?
Well, I do have an episode coming up on Thursday. We're gonna do one more spotlight video before Hyrule Warriors drops, and we might do a little Hyrule Warrior discussion. So it just depends on how I'm feeling that night. And we do. Me and T are gonna have an episode of Fresh Take this week. So to make up for me having emotional issues this weekend. so yeah. So that's
TJ.
Yeah.
What's that?
Maybe you can join us on our movie discussion.
I'd love to, man. I mean, it's right behind video games would be movies for me. I mean, it's almost tied. I just depends on the time of the season too. I seem to get into movies more off season, like not during the summer. But yeah, definitely hit me up. I'll see what we can do. See if my schedule's okay for that. So ASAP Rel. You're a little bit quiet, but we kind of talk about movies forever. So
yeah,
born under death.
Nah, it's good. It's cool, man.
Yeah, so I know you. Sorry, I was gonna say I know you're a fan of Mizza Tee's. You told me in the past, so I know you probably just wanted to listen more than to participate. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I just wanted to say first I wanted to congratulate Still Fox. Again, man, for his
you had to bring that up.
Mario Kart, man. Oh yeah, man, he did a good job, man. He did a good job, and of course, I want to thank you, Juice, for having me on. Like I told you, you, Red Knight, and Mizza Tee are my 3 favorite YouTubers, so it was cool to really be on here with y'all and meet you and Jay. So
every time you say that, I feel silly because you group me with 2 of the best YouTubers on there, and I just feel like you're selling. It's ridiculous to group me into that, but I appreciate it anyway. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, happy birthday again, belated. But I figured this would kind of be a present for you. I knew Mizza Tee was going to come on. I was trying to get Red Knight to come on, but he never replied. I don't know if he's watching this now. He said he was going to watch, but I was trying to get him on too, so he could have had your 3 favorites on. But yeah, it was a good podcast.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Just take it easy on Wednesday on me. Don't bump me off the track.
You gonna give me a birthday gift, and then you expect me to take it easy on the track, right?
I pass people with. I try to go around them, but you seem to go through them. So.
Oh yeah, man. And Twilight,
you got to.
So he sees his. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Go through it. Why go
It's that
around?
draft. And yeah, Twilight, man, he's next on our list because he kicked our ass in that lobby we were in, and we're gonna
Oh
try
yeah.
it. We're gonna try
Giving him a
it
heads
again.
up. He's a target. I
Sometimes we
want
try.
T to get on. I messaged him on Meverse. I'm like, man, I can't wait for you to make your debut, man.
Man, you fools are way too good for me. I embarrass myself.
Hey, I don't know, man. I got 13th last week, so.
So I need
Nah,
14.
he needs to see ASAP Pops, man.
Yeah, his dad, ASAP Rel's dad, Pops, races every week. It's a 16 race tournament, and he finishes with 16 points every week. And he just keeps chugging along, man. I got to give him props. He doesn't give up. You know, there's a lot of people that would bail out. So anyway, thanks to everybody who's watched and stayed this whole time. We've had the most views I've ever had consistently throughout a podcast live stream like this. So I was just reading a question real quick. Yeah, I don't have time to answer that, Terrell. Sorry. I'll save that one for next week. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks you guys for joining. And maybe if I do that movie, what do you call that series?
Fresh take.
Fresh Take. Sorry,
Yep.
forgot. And yeah, that would be great. So look forward to that, and we'll see everybody on the next video.